What's up, dinos? I'm back with my second attempt to make one of these like little commentary videos. I tried one the other day and it just didn't work out, which is fine. And it's kind of actually falls in line with what I wanted to talk about today. I do apologize if there's going to be a lot of cuts in this because I might need to pause and think about what I need to say a lot. But I've been watching more of these other YouTubers that have been doing these like Minecraft commentary videos, and there was a couple. I definitely respect them for what they do, and they've got good opinions for sure. But I was disagreeing with them, at least from how I personally approach my life, and just the kind of advice they were giving was not definitely wasn't bad advice overall, but just was stuff that definitely does not fall in line with how I know I have to work. And the main thing I'm talking about here is when they would say things like, in order to succeed in life, you need to focus on a few things instead of spreading yourself so thin. And that I can definitely see that advice applying to other people. I'm sure it works for other people, but for me, what I've found, and what's becoming more and more apparent to me lately, the more I try to be creative, and the more I just think on what works best for me, and thinking back on how I've approached my life just over the years and the way I've done things, really the best way for me to approach things is to just not commit to things, which sounds really weird and very counterproductive. And to be honest, part of me wishes that I wasn't like this, because I feel like I could probably accomplish more if I could commit to things. But I genuinely just, the way my mind works and the way it's always worked for as long as I can remember, is when I try to force myself to commit to one thing or just a few things and try to master those things, I burn out super quick. And I've even tried to like pace myself on these things and like try to use like healthy habits and stuff, and not just, I don't necessarily, I've gone through the phase of trying to brute force my way through things, and I've learned the hard way that sure as hell doesn't work for me. But even just pacing myself through trying to commit to one thing. So for example, if I wanted to become like a Sonic Heroes speedrunner, I don't think I could do it, especially not with my current health issues and my disability. It makes it hard for me to commit to things even more now, because it's unpredictable how I'm gonna feel every day. Like some days, like I feel pretty okay, at least by my new standards, and other days I just can like barely get out of bed. So that's a big reason as to why I can't commit to things. It's the physical part of it, but there's also just the way my brain works. Like, I still don't even really fully know how to describe it, and shit, maybe even recording this video will help me to figure out how to describe this. But let's say hypothetically I was healthy and I didn't have to worry about my health issues and my chronic pain and my fatigue and overall just lack of energy. And let's say I could commit to speedrunning a game like Sonic Heroes, Super Mario 64, like, committing to a task is basically the point I'm trying to make here. The problem is the way my mind works, and I'll be honest, I might be like running in circles here trying to explain this because I haven't really said this out loud before, so this video is definitely going to be good for me in that regard. It's going to be like a journal entry in my life, so to speak. Let's say I'm committing to speedrunning a game and I'm doing great. I've been like, I've been at it for like a month and I've been super passionate about it. Well, something's going to end up happening. This always happens anytime I've tried to commit to anything, even when I was healthy. I kind of start just losing interest in it. And those thoughts start to like creep into my like subconscious just over time before they eventually come to the forefront. Like they just kind of like slowly creep in and start like haunting my thoughts. Like, hey, what if you just suddenly begin to hate doing this thing? And most of my life I've just kind of taken those thoughts and been like, well, whatever, I'll just keep pushing through it because it's something I'm good at, and I've finally found something I'm good at, and there's no way I'm gonna give up now because I've finally found something that I can commit to, and I'm clearly getting a lot out of it. Like, and for further context, let's say like these speedruns I'm doing super good at them, and like like my Twitch streams are popping off, right? Because of these speedruns, and like everyone's like, holy shit, dude, you're doing like fucking amazing. And then that burnout starts to set in. And then I start feeling like I'm letting people down because there's a bunch of people rooting me on with my streams and my speedrunning and stuff. And then it's just this constant back and forth internal battle of like, well, I've got all these people counting on me. I finally found something I'm good at because I've never really been able to accomplish anything in my entire life, which is pretty true in regards to like success. I mean, I'm basically just back to square one. I really have accomplished barely anything in my entire life. And I haven't necessarily been in that particular situation with the Sonic Heroes speedruns, but I have been in very similar situations, even in regards to my streams, to where I feel like I've finally found this thing that's, oh, this is it. This is my life. This is going to be what I'm going to do for the rest of my life because I'm good at this and it's amazing and I'm never going to get tired of doing this because it's like my thing, right? But again, those thoughts come in of just, what if you start hating it? What if you start burning out? And then the burnout comes in just without me even realizing it. Even though the warning signs may have been there in my subconscious, I just chose to ignore it for so long because I didn't want to accept the fact that this thing that I found that was finally going to end up being like my key to success and like fulfillment. Like I don't want to lose out on this, you know? And I've just time and time again, I've been through these kinds of things to where I feel like I've finally found my thing and it just hasn't worked out. So that's why the whole like committing, this is why I can't commit to things, at least not zealously, get it, zealot, as I have been most of my life, because all that does is lead to disappointment. And I know this isn't how it is for other people. I know like a lot of people have trouble committing, and it's and you know, getting started in those commitments, and I absolutely have that issue too. But my main issue is sticking with things like long term, and I don't doubt other people deal with the same thing. So if I can't commit to things, if I can't commit to, you know, let's say 1 or 3 things for a long period of time, then what do? I've been wondering this for a while, and I think I've found an answer. I've found a solution. I don't know if it's the solution. I don't know if it ever will be the solution, but it definitely works out better for me than what I've been doing my whole life. And basically, I kind of just gotta go with my flow. I know that's like it sounds super like hippie and vague and like way overly profound and just not relatable and unrealistic, but I really can't think of a better word than flow. At the moment anyway. The way my mind works, I tried to say this earlier, but then I ended up going off on another tangent. The way my mind works is, let's say I'm in the middle of those speedruns, right? I swear this is going somewhere. I know I'm like running in circles with my conversation, but we're finally going somewhere with this. And then not only are those intrusive thoughts coming in of, oh, but what if you burn out? Also what comes in is, hey, what about this other thing that you like doing? For the longest time, I'd be like, well, no, I can't do that because that would take too much time away from this other thing I've committed to. But guess what ends up happening is I end up burning out on that thing anyway, and on that thing that I committed to anyway, or those few things that I committed to that one time anyway. So basically what I've found lately, what's better for me, is to just go with the flow of whatever comes to me on a daily basis. Sometimes even like less than that, like what comes to me like by the second, by the minute, by the hour. And what I've found is not only do I come up with better like creative projects because of that, but I'm just overall less stressed out. I just had what I had to do, and what's really, really hard to do, and something I still kind of struggle with for sure. Something I don't know if I'll ever master. Like I think I'm gonna keep having like weak moments every day. But one mindset that I just have to try to abandon, and one thing that I'm getting better at every day the more I try, is to just be okay with not being good at one thing. Because I just don't think, with the way my mind works and who I am personality-wise, I just don't know if I can ever be good enough at one singular thing to find not just like mental fulfillment from it for a long period of time, but also financial. And that's a whole other topic, you know, like where fulfillment truly comes from. That's honestly another video in and of itself. And probably maybe it would have been better to make a video like that before this one, because it would probably inform you more into my mindset. But I'm making this one. This video was sort of part of my flow. It's a great example too, is just I can't force myself to do things in a certain order, even if it makes more sense to do that, because I just got to go with what I feel like doing in the moment, which very much is not a popular mindset these days, and probably isn't a good mindset for some people. Some people might, like I've been saying, some people might just straight up be better off by committing to one or a few things and mastering those things. That's great if they can do that, but I've just had to come to find that I can't do that. Hey, I'm still young, maybe one day I can, but right now I've been trying for over 20 years, pretty much, and I've just found that I can't do that. So a good example of why my current mindset works better than trying to commit to one singular thing is what caused me to post my first commentary video was the fact that I was kind of in a mindset of, I don't know what I'm doing right now. I know I want to do something creative, and I have all these amazing ideas, but I just don't know what to stick to, what to commit to. And what I've found is I need a good balance of forcing myself to take that step into, okay, let's give this thing a shot, but also not getting too caught up in that one thing, because I've just learned that I will absolutely be too caught up in it if I commit too much to it. And that's just the reality. Every day I'm getting better at finding my limit and knowing how to find a balance between enjoying my creative works, but also not indulging myself into too much of it to the point where I burn out on it. So to kind of wrap this video up in a neat little bow, at least neat by my low standards, if I'm in the middle of something that I'm enjoying and I'm like, oh, this is awesome, this is working out, like I'm on a roll with this thing, and then those thoughts and feelings of wanting to do something else creep up, instead of fighting it, I'm just gonna go with my flow and trust the process of the way my brain works, because what's gonna come from that is, instead of being stressed out about fighting these thoughts coming in and trying to focus on this thing that I was already in the middle of, which is starting to decline in quality because I'm not feeling it anymore, but I'm trying to force it because it's the thing that I've been doing. I'm going to do something new, or maybe even return to something I've done before, and I'm going to be much happier because I'm not fighting my thoughts, and I'm just going with whatever comes to me. Is that going to bring me immediate success in this world? No, but that's something I've kind of had to abandon anyway because of my disability. So, I definitely think this is a mindset and lifestyle that I could have used even back when I was healthy. But hey, I'm here now. I'm making better decisions in my life now with what little I have left at this point in my life. And I'm kind of just going with the flow. So the best way for me to describe my point here and how I approach my life these days, and something that I definitely don't do all the time, but something I'm starting to practice more every day as time goes on, is I was having a point where I was super conflicted on, like, and this was after I posted the first commentary video. I was at a point where I was like super all over the place. I was like, I want to do something creative, but I don't know what to do. So what I did was I slowed down and I just thought, and I thought in some deep meditation. Came out of the meditation, I was like, you know what? I just feel like listening to some music. I'm just gonna listen to music and just vibe up to the music and not worry about doing anything. And you know what came out of that? I listened to music for a while. I think it was like a couple hours, and then just all of a sudden, I didn't even think too hard about it. I just started writing a little script for that Dune video that's on my channel right now. The one called The Dream-alike Opening of Dune Part 1. And I'm super, super proud of that video. It's nothing too complicated, it's pretty short and simple. But I'm really happy with the way the writing turned out in that video. I'm really happy with the way my line delivery turned out. And that is a prime example of me creating something that I'm really proud of. And it's not doing terrible on views either, at least by my standards. By just trusting my process, I just chilled out, listened to some music, and what came out of that was just a very effortless product in terms of that video. Especially after posting that video, I'm realizing more and more every day that like, yeah, that's pretty much how I need to start approaching things. I'm at least at a good starting point. I might realize more things the more my life goes on, but I feel like I've had a big breakthrough, a big epiphany lately with that. Yeah, just wanted to add that on real quick at the end. Thanks for watching. You all have a good one, my dinos, and I'll see you later.